Hello and welcome to another modelling video. Today we've got a really different session. It's not just we're visiting Gundams Plus, but we're going to be running it for a few days. With a bit of a snazzy uniform. The owner, Darryl Williams, a fairly influential modeller in Australia, has started his own hobby shop, working in the industry for a good 20 years and attended to some of the most iconic hobby shops in Melbourne, Australia. Come February of 2019, this business would have been opened for approximately 1 year. Darryl being a very good friend of mine, I helped him with opening and store fitting. It was a very different experience and quite helpful in eventually as I developed the salt mines further. So you can see the shop is a tad on the cluttered side, but the range is really out there. You've pretty much got the whole catalogue that is reasonably available from the wholesaler in Australia, and has quite a large selection in a humble premises. It also really embraces community and people coming around for a coffee, a chat, a bit of a build, so there's always a bit of a social space. I got my laptop set up instead of the boss's, so I can interact on Facebook. And the shop's pretty much divided between the plus side, military aircraft, which is the boss's favourite, and Gundams, thus in the name Gundams Plus, the Bandai category. Also a bit of science fiction, a few vintage kits, Star Wars, all of that bits and pieces. Now the building is divided into 4 rooms. There is a back room which I won't show, unlike the animation videos. Now we've got some larger stuff, lots and lots of PGs, and this is extra stock that's on hold or waiting to go to the front as it sells out. The room in the very back also has a ton of kits that are actually on hold for people. When the room is more empty, card tables come out and people can have a bit of a build, and we've had parties in here celebrating numerous occasions, bit of food and whatnot. Some built stuff in a cabinet. I see one of my girls in there. Full selection of tools, basic array of paints, bases, glues, all that sort of stuff. Mostly SMS lacquers all along here, Humbrol enamels and GSI acrylics, not forgetting all your Gundam markers and rattle cans. And what's a hobby shop without an evergreen rack? Down here is going to be my little project for the day. I'll be here for 10 days and I generally want to document things that I sell, what I get up to, what I build, taking over and running a hobby shop vlog, which I don't think any YouTuber has done before. It's a bit hilarious, and I still have to fit this in with my job. First sale of the day. Have to cut out a new cash books, the old one was used up. Very friendly beginner kit. Most of it's moulded in one part with fancy multi-part and slide moulds. That is a decent hunk of plastic with little imperfections. You get it built in less than an hour really. Working on a bit of a project, as there's not much to do until I get an internet connection, and the boss rocks up. Model collect. Fist of War. I've got this 6-legged spider tank. Lots of seams. Bit tricky to put together. but I think the finished result's going to be awesome. That is cool. Yeah, that is so cool. Move to Bushmaster, a weird German aircraft, and one Millennium Falcon, perfect grade so far. Another morning, day 2. So yesterday I was supervised, got this lovely mascot on the sail, for a few hours by the owner as he went to the airport and just get the idea of how he likes to have the suppliers contacted, the float done, all the paperwork, all that sort of thing. There we go. And we're practically open for business. So today he is out of the country and it's all up to me to run the place now. Got a Zaku tank on, set up the old ancient laptop, something playing, a bit of noise, it was too quiet yesterday, and a little bit of tub of pretty armour and resin to share around as a part of the Salt Mines special menu, only if they ask for it. For the past few hours I've been doing nothing but selling airbrush parts, paints and thinner. Very typical of me. Requested a guy to go home and pick up his airbrush and repair 2 airbrushes right on the spot. No even needs to replace anything. So hopefully he will pick up the channel and the video recommendations and follow us as well. Something that Egg-Playing Girl collectors as well as Mekanaman fans have been demanding for ages. Figures of the Hasegawa artwork of the Egg-Playing Girls. And the special edition kits are finally in. Get your typical egg plane and a resin figure inside. We'll crack them open for a bit of an unboxing. Funnily enough, the artwork for the girls is eventually going to get a show released sometime this year. And it's the same artwork done by the Strike Witches, the MS Girls, all the Mekanaman, Fuka Shimada. And you can check out the quality of the casting of these 120 figures are great. It's an excellent scale. 120 figures are just going for an absolute fortune by themselves, so you're virtually getting an egg plane and a set of decals for free. The casting of the quality is absolutely lovely. Plus this really cute decal set. And the other one. Real gangsters pack their lunch in a Ziploc bag. Home cooked jalapeno pork and capsicum for days. Man, that was tasty. Back to my Zaku. And it's coming together nicely. Just noticed some Neko Busho. Very popular. Find it a bit toy-like and simplistic. We'll generally be avoiding it. There's just not much I can do with it, and anything excessive will be just scratch building. I suppose I could just buy some cat toys and add that to something if I really wanted to. Been quiet for quite a few hours now. Spent absolute hours or half the day cleaning these up and assembling these piping. Huge baggy of parts for my E100 spider tank. I've done almost nothing but build and watch cartoons all day. This is a good life. More hours have passed. A few people wandered in, assembling the spider tank. Moved a Bandai Blockade Runner and Millennium Falcon. Having a look at it, this is an impressive little kit. It's almost all there, snapped together. Billion stickers, which is kind of a disappointment. Be a very interesting, fun collectible ship. And everything is done for end of day, pack up, and we shall try again. Definitely had fun today. It was pretty good. Good morning. Day 3. And for the ancient laptop, you're under arrest. On the desk, continuation from yesterday of the spider tank. Moved a little SMS to a friend's. Assembled a starter set for a newcomer into the hobby. Whew, quite busy today. Not even a lot of time for vlogging. Still definitely finding time to build. A few tool sets. A couple of items on hold. A couple of items placed on hold. And a Figure-Eyes special edition mechanical Haro ball sold. It was the only one, so I couldn't show it. And the other 2 items that also flew out were the last ones. Zaku is coming along nicely. Just finished the backpack, working on the arms. Oh, look! I actually found one. Let's crack it open. That detail is really, really cool. And we've got the runners with the clear shell and solid one. An Origin Zaku. End of day. Sold a bunch of Gunzi paint as well as some high grades on top of everything else. It was very, very busy. Shut down. Sunday's a day off and we'll be back here on Monday, I suppose. It's probably a good time to have a good look at the display cabinet. Nice and peaceful at night. Day 4, 10 o'clock, all open. Beautiful day on a Monday, and it's going to be over 30 all week, so a bit warm. Had plenty of time to clean up the kitchen area, tidy up the floor, the shop, set up everything. Gonna have some breakfast, and we are ready to trade. Not much is happening. Monday, slow day. Let's do an unboxing. The Labo Figure-Eyes Femina, the one with the layered injection moulding. I've unboxed it personally a while ago. Not impressed with this model at all. Technology is neat and you can see some of the shading through layers of plastic, but that's where it stops. So straight off the bat, we can see that there are various different plastics being injected. The pink is the inner side, the flesh is the outer. Now, this one is just multiple injections of the same mold to get the colours of the eyeliner, the eyeshadow. We've seen that before since the 90s. But you can see the cheeks are blushed, and that's because the flesh layer of plastic is so thin it's practically transparent, and that's where there's 2 shots of plastic with the pink runner and the flesh runner. Injected air makes sure that it's pushed in the right side of the mold for the correct type of layering. It is an older form of technology. The face is all cool and fine, but this is where I get my irks up. You can see that there are gate marks on the legs and the torso. Where there's flesh, you cut it, you clean it, that's not a big deal. But the inner bit of the thigh and the foot, you're going to have a very, very nasty orange mark. Inside looks like a raw chicken wing with skin. Layout of the runners, and this is where the disappointment continues. Almost half the kit is pretty much the Figure-Eyes bust, the arms and the hair. The arms have no layered injection moulding, but the bikini clothing is super shiny. If you can see it through the plastic, and the action base, or the still base I should say, is very cool with the water kicking up effect. And supposedly she's in this strange position to utilise the hair, the arms, but the legs are crossed there to hide nub marks. The instructions are really cool. You can almost hang this on your wall. Flesh monochrome tone. Glad I got to talk about it. because I'm never buying this nor painting it. Rather get a resin kit. Got pretty far on the Zaku, time to change projects. Pretty much no sales today besides a couple of paints. Closing up early, gotta go to night shift. Catch you guys tomorrow. Day 5, Tuesday, the continuation of the heat wave. Whew, it's hot outside. Very grateful for the magic of air conditioning. Ooh, a kite. So last night at work, there was a bit of an emergency near midnight that made me stay at that location for many hours. I'm very tired. Got virtually no sleep, so I'm gonna seriously struggle today. Gas leak for a chemical that shouldn't even be installed there at the time from an obsolete device. Anyway, we'll carry on. And I've realised that this whole vlog is going to be mostly unboxings, and hey, it's popular, people love it. I'm guilty of watching a few, so we'll keep on that trend and hopefully we'll sell something today. Oh shit, that's not good. Sold a bunch of quick build tanks and planes, a Messerschmitt, Spitfire, Challenger and an Apache. The Bandai Hi-Res, lovely box, not so lovely price tag. These are very sought after, people just throw money at them and they sell quite well, quite quickly. Let's take a peek inside and see what all the fuss is about. Looks to be a typical 1/100 kit, standard plastic and runners, thin stickers. There's not much here that's really doing it for me so far. The champagne gold is kind of nice. But I'm guessing everything is in this little box. Our box doesn't look too special. ABS polished plastic, pre-assembled, all sorts of screws and whatnot. Inner frame really doesn't do it for me. There's detail, but no definition. The joints are very stiff, so it's probably able to hold very dynamic poses. The face is already done up. But yeah, not quite my cup of tea. Again, I could see the appeal and why it's popular. You get the sense of building it and just snapping it straight together, and something that looks that good in that pose within probably less than an hour's work. And the back end. Working on the spider tank. This seam line filling and building of every articulated component is starting to get a bit old. Quick to burn out. I only had one sale. It was a big one, so we did well today. We covered the bases. We're going to get paid. Woohoo. Day 6. Things are promising. It's nowhere near as hot. Quite cool, so there's some sort of change from the forecast, luckily. Let's hope this results in some sales and building a business. Oh yeah, biscuits. Never be too proud to clean up a joint.
My component all together.
So today we've got this very strange transforming multi-runner kit. We've got a bunch of these samples from Hobbyco and Bandai, and the interesting thing is it's a runner that you pull apart, twist and assemble, but due to the plug set you're able to reassemble it as a set of runners again, which I have no idea why anyone wants to do it. And getting multiple bits of these sets, you transform it into a greater device, which is very interesting on the least end. Thank you to our expert Kirk. End of daytime. did manage to sell a high grade blue Destiny and a bunch of paints to the gentleman that I helped with the airbrush last week. These legs are also practically near done. Quite grateful about that. Here is that transformed kit, all done in its glory. Toilet cam. Just got a text from the boss. I think there was some sort of complaint. Wondered if I put the change of hours on the window of the shop as well as the Facebook group, which I didn't. And I think I'm in a bit of trouble, but it is what it is. Pretty much I think I'm doing a good job, so we'll see what the results are at the end of the exercise. So many days of double shifts at my work, and here is really taking a toll. Managed to get a decent amount of sleep, but I'm so mentally exhausted. Alarms all set. Camberwell tram junction goes all the way to the depot. The depot. It's a bit worthwhile taking a bit of a walk around. It's almost like a hangar. Very cool. Day 7. Finally a cool change. Very muggy. Very humid. Besides the building being very old and the motif nice, it's a bit of a rough night. Got a sore throat. Things happened. But we're here today and we'll continue on. Now unfortunately I may not be able to finish the 9-day challenge, as my other job has called me in for 2 days emergency shift. Pretty good rate too. So we're going to have to most likely cut this off tomorrow on Friday. Finally done all the seam line filling on these legs. Definitely over it. Way too much work for each layer. Worse than a vintage kit. Now earlier on in the video you might have seen me with a big bag of chili pork with rice. Northern Chinese recipe. Cooked up a large batch of it last week. Put it in the bag, microwaved small proportions. Every time I sort of needed to eat, do meals and whatnot, as I'm staying between here and work, sleeping at Rough. Unfortunately it's all run out, and as it got old it has given me cramps and unfortunate results in the bathroom. So with the lack of meals and not wanting to eat out, had a little bit of a hunt around in the supermarket, and I had these microwavable meals, which is not ideal, and I jumped straight to the cheap ones to save a bit of money. $3.50 Coles brand stuff. Had the salt and sugar content greater than any KFC meal. Fat content as well. And you'd think it'd be delicious. Oh no. Absolutely disgusting. And it ravaged me even worse. So with a few more days to go, not 100% sure how I'm going to sort things out without breaking the bank and the delicate ecosystem that is my budget as of late. There's a kick-ass skylight in this place as well. The budget is for a damn good reason. Got a very ambitious plan, and it does roll in with the injection molding thing. It's going to be unrevealed in a year or so time, and sort of be very relevant for the channel and other projects. In the earlier story, what is absolutely tragic is my chili pork was actually very, very healthy cuisine. Now I'm stuck with crap. Who likes cooking? I would absolutely kill for kitchen access, as we are surrounded by fresh ingredients. We missed out on a video yesterday. Let's do a unboxing today, or a few of them. 500 scale battle spaceship Yamato. Utilises features from the World War II warship. The rest of it is spaceship from the popular show. Yet to see it. This is meant to be pretty nice, and the layout on the inside is very interesting. Fairly standard panel detail, quite nice. Now this is a snap kit opposed to the older glue together ones. Under this beautiful box facade. Oops. Not too sure what that is all about, but we're greeted with a bunch of snap parts laid out. Few metal bits, all pre-coloured. Cute little base, clear pieces, massive sticker, and our instructions. So that's a finished look on it. And looking at it, I kind of absolutely dig it. I kind of really want to build this thing. Your standard tools and the process of putting it together, all the details to paint up the smaller ships. To be absolutely honest, this is extremely cool. I might have to look up a review or something of this. Not a bad price, looks very easy to build. I'd practically recommend this to anybody to have a go at it, beginners especially included, with how hard traditional ships are. Was also donated this really awesome snow diorama of a perfect grade Phoenix, sort of in a crash landed, abandoned position. Definitely worthwhile appreciating, and probably a bit of an altar for me to pray to the retail and food gods to treat me a lot kinder today and later on, for a hopefully more fun weekend before I head back to work. Mushroom Krieger is very cool, though the Mk.I trio we go, this we definitely have to poke and have a look inside. This is a high-end extra large frozen meal. The box looked beautiful, spent way too much money on it, and yeah, this is gross. I hope I don't get salmonella from the veggies. Yeah, it was pretty bad. The 50 episodes of You're Under Arrest is finally done. Man, that's a good show, even when you miss a few episodes or plot lines. Good background stuff. Now, the original fate. Well, this sucks. And it's hot as hell, so it's gonna steam up pretty badly. So this is meant to be some sort of civilian use, home use mech suit. By itself, it's interesting, but a bit meh. However, it really attracts to my imagination, and I think playing around with adding weapons, skins, armour, bits and pieces, one could do something very cool. Hasegawa can be hit and miss. On the surface it looks like a snap kit, but I reckon some of those pegs are so shallow and tiny that glue will be required to be convinced to hold it together. Not quite sure if we're looking at articulation or still pose. And obviously some nice water slides. Looks like you got a little boy and girl interior cockpit, rides on a bit like a Segway, and it seems to have some sort of form of minimal basic vintage articulation if we're comparing to an old Bandai kit. I do like how it opens up and exposes the inside, just so much potential. Bit of instructions. Fuck. That was silly. My god, it was a lot of work to get it at this stage. Still a bit loose, but it's snap fitted. Very, very, very ugly thing. I'm not even 100% sure if I like it or not. I must admit, the legs are just absolutely kicking. Very cool bit. Very cool bit of kit in there. Quite a few hours have passed since the unboxing. About a dozen or so people have walked through the door. A few sales, a bunch of high grades, a few aircraft, paints, bits and pieces. A lot of small purchases. got a bit of building and cleaning done, but we're going to remain open a little longer. It stopped raining, though it's still very hot and muggy outside. Fatigue is really setting in. I'm just absolutely tired and over it. But we'll start the shutdown procedure in half an hour, get a meal and get some sleep. Sandwich bags are always a great investment. You'll never lose a part, or less likely to. And we're closed for the day. Friday, day 8. Unfortunately our last day, 9 o'clock, everyone's heading to work. And we'll make this a good day. The boss is very optimistic via mail. Trams are going past. Hope you guys love all the tram montages. Swept the floor, a bit of cleaning, but there's a bloody leaf there now. Typical. And we've changed shows to Girls and Punzer again. Let's have some fun and really party this time. Especially with my spider tank on the table. Just bought this Hawker Hurricane by 4D Models. I want to see what a $5 kit is all about. Though we have built 4D many a times on this channel. And missed the dissolve putty because mine thickened up into a paste and was virtually empty. Retained the same ball bearing, but let's see what this is definitely all about. 4D is actually a sanctioned educational toy company in mainland China, so they get some sort of tax breaks or something, and they use like a reclaimed painted ABS. Well, that's a good start. Most unique set of instructions I've ever seen. It's pretty tiny. Sort of masking scheme, some stats, history. Hawker Hurricane is a British single-seat fighter aircraft of the 1930s, 40s. That was blah 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 blah. I'm sure you could Wikipedia the history. Oh, I think I already regret it. Those panels are deep and the rivets are, yeah, I don't know. The rib texture is kind of cool. Let's crack it. To be absolutely honest, for the price, it's actually not bad. It's borderline decent. A lot of stuff is just way out of proportion and scale, but I reckon a kid would love this. Somewhat snap fit as well. I've got a little something at home and I might have a little bit of an idea to do something with this. Raining again. Now it's absolutely bucketing down. Earlier before it was a heat wave during the week. It's going to be terrible outside. While I'm holding the camera and boy do I look rough. At least had a pretty decent feed last night. A really long sleep, over 10 hours after a whole week of double shifts, emergency shifts and less than 5 hours sleep. Feeling really great, so pretty keen, pretty happy, ready to go hard, and it's just raining so damn hard. Look at that go. I swear, everything I've used over the years, this is the best putty. Just a thickened cream consistency. Apply where you need, where it's a nice closed gap, lightly sanded off with high grit sandpaper, or use a thicker quantity and build up for larger gaps. If you want that perfect seal, bit of super glue, then use this stuff on top. Mushing Krieger Camel by Kyo Yokoyama. Hasegawa kit, 120 scale. It's a big boy in a very rustic cardboard box. The box art is reminiscent of a very basic, almost military ration style packaging. The art of it is just really well thought out. Nose art is also very well thought out too. Got a bunch of lore. Reading the lore in the back of these boxes give you a greater understanding, and schematics of the build and scheme with a bunch of stats of what it's all about with its armaments and weights, how far it goes, power plant, all that sort of jazz. And we have our instructions, which like any kit is pretty easy to follow. Very rich in information, laid out like a typical Hasegawa kit. I think would also have quite a bit of insights on how he has his kits and designs come together. It does look like a lot to take in, but step by step it is completely approachable. Now, I'd imagine this particular project would be one of the more challenging ones, or at least nothing like the legs of this stupid thing. Inside of this bowl is just a painter's wet dream. Got little just cool things like that. I hope the banners don't get ruined from being steamed and boiled. Yay, tanks. Parts are all dry from the putty. I could sand it. I'd rather wait for the whole 24-hour rule. I think I'll put a second layer just to make sure none of it has sunk in, and then she'll be good later. When time passes, this box art will be completely redundant. This is the pride of the shop. Hong Kong Models Lancaster 32nd scale clear body edition. I'm not that into aircraft though. Bombers are very cool. This thing is just bloody huge. I'll definitely take a peek inside. Some of the schemes. This thing is incredibly heavy, and I have to admit these parts look pretty impressive. Panel line scribe detail. The hollowness of the wing is very cool. And there are just tons and tons and tons of parts. Supposedly there's meant to be a clear fuselage somewhere in here. And there you go, you got the idea of the length of this. So you can pretty much, I thought you could just mask the windows, but the windows are hollow. But being fully internally detailed, you could do like an internal diorama or something. The parts count is pretty crazy, and there's just tons and tons of runners. Not too bent on taking everything out, but here's some internal stuff you can really get a hang of. The instruction manual is extremely thick. Bloody motorcycle. Repaired another airbrush, updated it to a 0.5 for better flow. This one was actually pretty well maintained by the client. Fixing two of them is fairly rewarding experience, and just really stacked up the parts in sale. So back to the Lank instructions. You can just see everything that goes into it. The entire internals is absolutely faithful. If you do cutaway models, naked model, an internal diorama, whatever your thing is, this is just that big holy grail long-term project for those aviation nuts, really. And I could see why everyone's been looking forward to and pining for this project. I mean, you've got like the side bombs, the gunning area. Not really minding it that much. I'm actually very impressed. Fully detailed engine. You can have it in 1,000 pieces like it's being restored or maintained in a hangar. The possibilities, I guess, is just absolutely endless for a project like this. As we're flipping through, quite a few people have gone through the shop. Not a single sale except for the airbrush fix job, but that's a salt mine gig, baby. Don't forget all of our masking schemes and everything. Colour guide, Tamir, Guns, AK. Way to go. Whew. Gundams Plus. Oh no, Nazis can't sell this model. Well, not in Germany at least. The dude outside the front of the shop was sort of giving a history of Gundam, the show, the models and all that sort of stuff. Then rubbished the whole concept of the business being in the middle of nowhere and servicing it exclusively, even though it's a general hobby shop. Very strange to be shouting that in front of someone's business. The weird story of the day. In the day, till's empty, door's locked, time to call it quits. At it, I suppose there's about 15 minutes left of power in this camera, so we'll wrap it up as some sort of vlog conclusion. Got my nifty uniform t-shirt on. It's day 8. We've just closed about 8:30. Not many more customers coming in. A few people came in to grab some high grades, the snap together Airfix kits, glue bits and pieces. The experience was really rewarding. I haven't worked in retail for well over a decade. Did help out with Animasia, as the owner's a good mate of mine, but that's really just hanging around the shop, pushing one or two things through a till, building in the corner and airbrushing about 99% of the time. That's not retail work, anything like I remembered. Now, this is an opportunity to talk to suppliers and manage and look after the shop on the owner Daryl's behalf. Kept in touch and communication with him via text message to send him figures and all that. And besides the supervision aspect, which it was a fairly disappointing week. I didn't quite reach his expectation in sales, unfortunately. Not that he's unhappy or anything, just a low lull in the week that is directly after New Year's, Christmas, and just before back to school. I think that was expected, to the reason why he wanted to go on holidays then, and I feel a little bad for him, as well as cutting a day short due to an emergency call out to work. I think not exactly the most successful stint, but hey, jumping head in after not doing retail for so long is fairly understandable. Getting back into the sway of stocking shelves and monotony, waiting around for customers to come in, was very nostalgic and reminded me of what things were like before college education, university TAFE for us Aussies, and hitting proper industry. I don't think after experiencing this I will ever return to commercialized retail again. That mindset just hit immediately of maintenance and cleaning opening up, being open directly on time, closing on time, and the whole interaction with customers. When more friendly people who recognized me did come in, I immediately felt very comfortable. Talking about things like YouTube, repairing a few people's airbrushes. That was very relaxing, very rewarding, had a lot of fun. I had a lot of trouble in 2018, and in some patches during this, I've fallen in love in the hobby again, talking to beginners and people just in the absolute fun and the moment of it. No competitions, no drama, no deep community things, just playing with plastic, doing a ton of building in the lot out there and creating content, creating this video. It's back to what the hobby should be about, and I think it's just a good break from my day-to-day life and just hitting it again, hobby-wise, selling-wise, just having a break and trying something new. All in all, this is the experience and expectations of retail and working in the industry of the hobby shop. It's not exactly fun. You're not going to do anywhere as much building as I've done. I'm in a very interesting situation with my engagement in the community. My reach and resources has brought different opportunities and aspects to this business. If you were to aspire to work in the hobby or have a hobby related job, the retail aspect is absolutely carbon copy to any other service retail industry position, sort of like working in fast food, supermarkets, that sort of thing. The only difference is you would have a closer relationship with the customers sharing a similar interest, or see a lot more of the ugly side of the hobby through the more frustrating and difficult customers, as well as having greater knowledge and passion for the materials that you're selling and pushing, though quite quickly, if it is a toxic environment or not an ideal working relationship with others at that site, can ruin the experience for you. But this is not always the case, as such larger chains in countries with very big hobby shops or connections to wholesaler suppliers, there are career paths that branch to the importing management side of things. Again, it's just like working in logistics and retail human resource management. Or you could look at researching the economics and marketing of the hobby in your city and opening and operating your own business, be it brick or mortar or online retail. The reason why I did struggle a bit here, and being the more lull of the retail season, is the shop does bring in a lot of overhead costs of the rent, power, taxes, bringing in the stock before the profits come in to pay for the living expenses of the owner, as well as paying the employees that come under in. I did this as an absolute favour. This video does showcase a very entertaining aspect of doing something like this, and it was a lot of fun, though realistically this position could not support another employee due to the size and the flow and how soon this whole operation did get developed. It was very exciting to be there at the very start of the shop fitting and setting everything up. At this point, as my audio voiceover is being injected at the end of this video, the camera did die on the spot while doing the challenge, and this is editing post-event mindset and point of view on the whole thing. The pictures in the slideshow is of earlier stages of the shop being set up and fitted and just opening early in 2018. A bit of history about the owner, even though we do have a bit of a professional relationship and opportunity of someone who engages social media and someone who's selling the product at a local level, is an absolutely wonderful guy, quite a talented model way back, and has been engaging the community for over 30 years and in a retail capacity for 20 at very iconic hobby shops in Melbourne, the Victorian Hobby Centre on Swanston Street, Melbourne City, for a very long time, and he transferred to Hearns Hobbies in Flinders Street. Very historical and old hobby shop institutions and cornerstones of the military and other modelling communities in Australia. He eventually did open his business looking towards the future, being an aircraft modeller and targeting the Gundam snapping aspect of the hobby. When I was asked to look after the shop for about a week, I planned on taking the week off from work and wanted to do a video like this, have all sorts of fun, work on a project. The period expanded, making it 9 days, and unfortunately I wasn't able to grant time off work due to how busy we were and short-staffed. This did lay in very heavy and made all sorts of challenges I did not expect, and finished off with this that's completely different from my original intention, though I think it definitely makes for interestingly enough content that is presentable and put together and is surprisingly more an on-take of the hobby industry. And even though this period of time, this snapshot of a few days did seem pretty lean, the business overall performs extremely well and engages a very large cut and bring in quite a plethora of our friends, contacts and customers that Daryl has developed over the years, as well as advertising and engaging in older media such as a columnist in a hobby magazine, while I bring in some new media, video, social media to combine. The business is very healthy and is going to be around for quite a long time. I do highly recommend coming in for a chat, a coffee,
having a look at the range, it is a lot more of a traditional take of service and display, opposed to some of the direction other hobby shops are going for, and larger ranges exclusively being online. Even though I did hit the point of absolute exhaustion, I didn't expect to be working back to back with no sleep. Definitely did not regret this. I had a lot of fun, and a lot was achieved from the overall activity. The sales definitely picked up once Daryl returned, and all of his customers picking up orders or new kits just absolutely flooded in. So, no foul, no harm. Thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. I thoroughly hope you guys have definitely enjoyed this strange vlog review challenge. Don't know if it'll ever happen again, though the next time the Salt Mines engages in Model Expo or a small sale thing, I may do a snapshot of event retail and where I'm a little more experienced. The event industry is definitely my cup of tea and bread and butter, and definitely where I know what I'm doing. Catch you guys next time, and stay tuned for further content. Check out all the usual social media links and information in the description section, and let us know if you enjoyed this too long, too disjointed, too weird, or if it was just right. See ya!